Okay, start with the warm-up. You should be able to do this on your own. You're supposed to figure out which town between these two towns, Morel or Glenville, would be the better town for you to live in based on the average monthly temperature. So what I would like you to do is find the average monthly temperature and then decide which town you would rather live in. So go ahead and do that. Stop the video. I'm going to put the average temperatures up on the video so that you can check after you do the problem. Okay, so based on these averages, if it were me, I would pick to live in the town that was just a little bit warmer. Okay, let's start talking about box and whisker plots. You should have at least seen these in middle school, so let's sort of review, and then we're going to talk more about this on Friday. So it says, we're going to fill in these values here. Quartiles are values that divide a data set into 4 equal parts. One of the easiest ones to remember is the median. The median quartile is the second quartile, so one right in the middle. It separates the data into 2 halves, upper and lower. Okay, once you're in the lower half of the data, okay, so if you're thinking about the lower half of the data, quartile 1, or the first quartile, is the median of the lower half of the data. Quartile 2, or the second quartile, is the median of the upper half of the data. Oh gosh, I wrote second here, sorry. That should be third. Okay. The next thing you need to know is the interquartile range. The interquartile range is just the difference between the third and first quartile. So it's Q3 minus Q1. Okay, so here's a nice picture of data that's divided up into these quartiles. So your median is always the middle value, and quartile 1 is always the middle of the values that are in the lower half. Quartile 3 is always the middle of the data values in the upper half. And then the quartile range is Q3 minus Q1. Alright, let's look at the next slide here, which is just instructions on how to summarize data. So here's the first instruction, and it's pretty important. Arrange the data into increasing order. So you're going to have to take some time and rearrange the data so that it's smallest to largest. Okay, let's try one. So for example 1, I'm going to rearrange my data into smallest to largest. So I'll start with looking for my smallest, which is 60, and I'll cross them off just so I don't get confused. Then 65. Then 75, and it looks like I've got a couple of those, 3 of them. And then 85, there's 3 of those. And then 95 and 100. So let's see if I can move. Oh. I'm going to move these over just a little bit. Okay, let's start by finding the median. I think that's the easiest way to go. So what I would do is I would just count in from each side. Alright, so those are your 2 middle terms. You've eliminated 4 on one side and 4 on the other. So there's not one data value that's exactly in the middle. If that happens, then what you need to do is take the average of the 2 data values in the middle. So you would take 75 plus 85 and divide by 2, and that'll give you 80. All right, once you've established your median, let's look at our lower half of our data. The lower half of our data is right here. And we want to find our quartile 1, or a median of that data. So let's go down. We can eliminate these two and these two. So that means 75 is quartile 1. And then the minimum is 60 because it's the smallest value. Quartile 3, let's look at our upper half of the data. And we can eliminate these two and these two. So that means 85 is our quartile 3 and 100 is our max. So just remember, if your median, if there's an even number of data values, and there are here, your median is going to not actually be a data value. It's going to be squished in between two of your middle values. And then your quartile 1 and 3, you will actually have data values for. Okay, let's do the second example, and then we will call it a day. So I'm going to rearrange the data. 5, 7, 11, 19, 21, and 53. So let's start with the median. I've got 3 data values here and 3 here, which means my median is in between 11 and 19. So I'm going to find their average. That's going to give me 15. So the median is 15. So once I have the median, I know that here's my lower half, which means 7 is my quartile 1. My min is 5. My upper half is right here, and my 21 is the quartile 3, and my max is 53. All right, we will do more with this tomorrow.